Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
This is Mr. Chris Claremont, a legend.
Melanie goes,
Fire.
howdy partners, this is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And today we're going to round them up. I think that's what they say, round them up. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 most wanted X-Men Omnis for 2025. So let's go. Bub? I don't know why I didn't say let's go Bub at the very beginning instead of just let's go. Would have made sense for my most wanted X-Men Omnis. Why didn't I do that? Anyway, missed opportunity. But you don't have to miss the opportunity to hit that like button, please. Goes a long way for us here on the channel. Small thing you can do, but it does mean the world to us. Big thank you to our patrons for making videos like this possible. All right, continuing my most wanted. Again, this is my list. I'm not announcing anything. You don't see the suit and the tie. Not announcing anything. I'm just daydreaming and talking about the list that I would love to see collected from Marvel Omnis. This time around, it's X-Men. Then later on, we're going to do Spider-Man. And then, of course, Superman. And then Absolutes in gallery editions, I think. And then manga. So, thank you all for staying tuned and suggesting things and leaving your list as well. So I would love to know what your list contains and what you voted for. My mapping is a little bit different than the mapping that we did for the poll, but that's okay. I have my own mapping, and Peter and I can actually bring back Map My X and discuss why our mappings are different. I would love to do that. All right, let's go ahead and start countdown with number 10. And that is Cable Omnibus Volume 1. So this is the era with Fabian Nicieza, and then, of course, later on, Jeff Loeb writing the stories, introducing us to the character of Nathan Dayspring, Christopher Summers, more intimately, if you will. Because we're already introduced to the character, and I actually included some stuff in here from X-Force to show you like some of the backup stories that were told. We've already been introduced to the character, but this is more of like his backstory, which has always been weird, right? Because his past is our future, but I kind of like how convoluted that is. His ties with Cyclops, his ties with Sinister, with Apocalypse, his relationships and his friendships that he made, and the betrayals that happen. A lot of it is told through these stories, and yes, there's some double dip if you've got like Cable and X-Force, but I think it's time that we separate those, and hopefully we'll have a continuation of X-Force with the Jeff Loeb era and the Adam Polina era. But I want Cable, just Cable. No X-Men, not yet. Maybe one day. Maybe it's on your list. Leave those lists down below. Number 9 is X-Men Magneto War Omnibus. I said it on my Marvel Most Wanted Omnis that we're getting to that era where now gap fillers are making me happy. We are getting the Trial of Gambit Omnibus. And funny enough, I had this one up for a while because Trial of Gambit Omnibus ends with issue 350. This one kicks off with issue 351. So it's almost like they read my mind and they knew that I was mapping my own stuff. No, that's not what happened at all. But this is the stuff that happens after the Onslaught Aftermath. So if you have that, then you get the Trial of Gambit. That takes you all the way to 350. And I think all the way to 64 because there's a bunch of miniseries that are happening during that time. And this is after that, but because it's X-Men, it's also after the Operation Zero Tolerance, which I know is out of print right now. So if they reprint it as an omnibus, because I don't think it was an omnibus, I think it was just an oversized hardcover, there is a little bit of a double dip, though. I will say that because I think it's just Uncanny X-Men, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's a double dip with Trial of Gambit. I don't think there's any. Actually, no, there is no double dip in here because this is taking place after Zero Tolerance. So yes, you still need Zero Tolerance. This goes after that, and then before Apocalypse the 12 or X-Men the 12 Omnibus. So another gap filler with some of the miniseries and of course more of the X-Men Unlimited that we still need, and the annuals. And I think Magneto War would make a better name than the, what was it, Hunt for Xavier storyline that's in there too. Number 8, speaking of names, Wolverine, the Best There Is Omnibus. So this is technically Wolverine Omnibus Volume 8. I know people are like, can you get Marvel to rename Volume 7? I think that ship has unfortunately sailed. But to me, it's just a name. It's fine. It's the contents of the book that I care about. And technically, Not Dead Yet is your Volume 7. Then this would be Volume 8, wrapping up that era of Wolverine before Greg Rucka, which relaunches with a Wolverine, I guess it would be Volume 3, but we'll talk about that another day. This is collecting the remaining stuff by Frank Terry, and also including Wolverine The Origin, which has not been... No, well, I mean, it's been collected in Deluxe Edition, but it has not been collected before in an Omni format, just in Epic format. But wrapping up that era, that of course leads into the Weapon X ongoing series, and then the Greg Rucka Marvel Knights era, but this is the era that I want. It's another one that wraps up, and we will have all 8, that is insane, 8 volumes of Wolverine done there. Whew! I think this is my only anthology series that I have for this year, and that is Storm, one of my favorite X-Men. And just from the very beginning, and yes, there is double dipping. I know I've said that a lot, and, you know, people sometimes turn away from that, but I think it's gotten to the point, especially if you're an X-Men collector and reader, that it's almost a necessity now to double dip, if you will. Like, you're gonna have, especially if you have character-centric omnis like this, there's gonna be some huge double dips. But then also collecting stuff that has never been collected before, or maybe long forgotten, just because of how long it's been, and it's never been added or some of these stories have never been added anywhere. Some of them you'll find in Extreme X-Men or Black Panther Omnis, but because of the popularity of Phoenix, we're getting 3 Omni, or we have 3 Omnis, that's just insane. This totally can be done. Obviously, there's enough demand for just character-centric Omnis, and it is a different time that we're living in, that's for sure. At one time, we just wanted everything X-Men in chronological order. Now we're talking about quadruple dipping these days. New X-Men Academy X Omnibus Volume 1. Do I like the Kyle and Yost era more? Absolutely I do, but I am a no issue left behind type of guy. I want the Phillips and Nunzio de Phillips stuff in there that leads into the Kyle and Yost taking over the book and making their own thing. So this does start off with New Mutants. The series then later changes to New X-Men. After, it's a little confusing. So when New X-Men by Grant Morrison was done, it was Chuck Austen that came in and wrote a couple issues, and then of course it became X-Men again. Adjectiveless X-Men by Peter Milligan took over the run. So they still had the title New X-Men out there. So what they decided to do is change New Mutants, because they thought X-Men would just sell better, change it to New X-Men, and make it about the New Mutant teachers or New Mutant students, like Rain, and of course, Danny Moonstar and Karma, Cannonball. All these characters are coming back as teachers and focusing on new students. Now, what ended up happening because of the House of M and the Hellions miniseries, it seemed like fans were just bigger fans of the Hellions teams. So those characters kind of took over when Kyle and Yost came on the book, and they kind of reshifted things around. But this is the beginning of that, and then we'll need a volume 2 for the rest. But I just wanted to map them again by volume numbers. Number 5, X-Force and Cable, the Messiah Era Omnibus. So since we know we're getting the Messiah trilogy in omnibus format, these are the stories that need to be read with it. 100%, no, not at all. But I also believe that nothing should be left behind. These are the stories of X-Force and, of course, the stories of Cable. So at one time, I think last year, I actually had it as X-Force by Kyle and Yost. But I figure if we're going to get a trilogy, then you might as well do a X-Force and Cable omnibus. Give people this Messiah era completely done. And this will have the extra Crochet stuff too. So it is a crossover with X-Men Legacy, and it is a crossover with the New Mutants at the time. And it's a hell of a crossover. Wrapping up with, of course, X-Force, Sex and Violence. And oh my gosh, the artwork in here by Clayton Crane and Mike Choi. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Number 4. Just give it to us. New Mutants Omnibus Volume 4. Yes, get us that Cable stuff. We need this. We're getting Excalibur to wrap up Excalibur. We need New Mutants to wrap up. It's been a couple of years since that Volume 3. I also included in here the Reign of Terra and Night of Terra, plus the New Mutants, the Truth or Death miniseries, which is also, funny enough, in the... What was it? I think it is in the Excalibur Omnibus Volume 4. But it's got the crossover in here, and of course it has the Extinction Agenda crossover. I don't think you need the New Mutants Omnibus Volume 7, which is, of course, the Kings of Pain story. That would be just insane, because that's in your X-Force Omnibus Volume 1. And I'm worried that Marvel might put that story again. That story has been collected everywhere, I swear, in this. But I think they might take into account that that's already in X-Force Omnibus Volume 1. I don't mind at all, though, that they double dip with issues 90... What is it? 98, 99, and 100 of New Mutants. That leads into X-Force 1. I think it needs to be complete, because I would be upset if they're not in here. Yes, I know they're in X-Force 1, but that wraps up the series. Number 3, Exiles Omnibus Volume 1. Back on the list. I don't think it made it last year. I don't think. But this is collecting the first 37 issues. No issue left behind. We need that Blink miniseries in there, because remember, the Blink miniseries has an appearance by a character that is in the Exiles and leads into the whole idea of the Exiles. If you don't know what Exiles is, people compare it to Quantum Leap, people like me, and then also Sliders. Trying to right what went wrong and sending 6 characters on different missions to fix universes. So they go across the universes, not different times. So you have characters pulled from the Age of Apocalypse. You might have a character pulled from another universe, and all 6 characters coming from different universes are working together to set things right. There is the counterpart to that too, with a group called the Weapon X. Those people are trying to tear things apart for reasons, and that you'll find out as you read the book. Judd Winnick is the one that starts off the book, and of course Mike McCone is the artist on the book. Later on, Jimmy Calafiore joins, and then of course it becomes the Chris Claremont era. But I want this stuff collected in chronological order. I love this book. It was, especially if you're an X-Men guy, like if you love reading nothing but X-Men, this is the stuff for you. It's not just What If. It's characters that you're familiar with, like Blink from the Age of Apocalypse, jumping through different universes, trying to fix things that went wrong. And also, characters don't make it out of here. There's a forever changing cast here because they just go on dangerous missions. Number 2, Generation X Omnibus Volume 1. That's right, separating it again by volumes. I think this would take it all the way to issue 25. We've had these release in Epic Collections. My biggest concern with this is that these, especially those early issues, really need a lot of restoration work done because of the low quality scans that they have. We've had them in the Phalanx Covenant Omnibus, and we've had them in the Epic Collections, the Generation X Epic Collections, and the scans just don't... They're good. They can just be better. They can be touched up. There's still a lot of artifacts in some of those colors. So that's what I hope they do. And of course, including the Phalanx Covenant part that introduces us to Generation X. Some double dipping, but again, we've just gotten to the point where you're going to double dip if you're an X-Men collector no matter what. Unless you're just getting Uncanny X-Men, which is not my number 1, unfortunately. It's not Uncanny X-Men 6. What is my number 1? I changed it a little bit this year, and that is X-Men by Mike Carey, Omnibus Volume 1. Last year, I think I was just being lazy. X-Men by Mike Carey! And it had X-Men, it had X-Men Legacy. I even think I threw in issues in there by Christos Gage when he wraps up the series. But this time around, I stayed focused, and I'm like, okay, what could realistically go into this? If it's a creator-centric book, we could put the Supernova story, the beginning of X-Men Legacy, and they're taking us all the way to 227. So I think that can be done. I think we can do this. And, of course, some of the one-shots. Not everything written by Mike Carey. We'll see how I'm at Volume 2. But, yeah, I think I just interviewed him. Well, when I filmed this, I just interviewed him. When this airs, who knows how long that's been since I interviewed him. I hope you watched it, though. And he's just such a likable guy that just, for some reason, doesn't get enough credit. He's written some amazing books. Lucifer, Unwritten, and X-Men. And there's so much history and, like, canon history that he loves using in X-Men. He doesn't rewrite things. He doesn't retcon. He actually uses the things that have pre-existed and the characters he's comfortable with. Like, I think I actually told him, I was like, he wrote one of the best... Actually, he wrote the best Rogue outside of Chris Claremont for me during that particular time. And then, of course, even people like Jonathan Hickman were fans. And if you watch that interview, it's really cool because he was asked by Jonathan Hickman to write the Children of the Vault miniseries, but he was busy and he couldn't do it. But when and if these books ever come out, don't forget to pre-order them from our sponsors. BD Cosmos, the Canadian leader in graphic novels. They have a physical storefront in Montreal, Quebec, and their website, bdcosmos.com, offers 25% off your order of over $99 or more, and free shipping everywhere in Canada for every order of $200 or more.
Their shipping care is exceptional. Your books will stay cozy through the rough Canadian weather and arrive to you in near mint condition.
After checkout, let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way, and you'll be added to the monthly $25 gift card raffle. Entries are valid for new and returning customers.
Don't be afraid to call or email them. Ask them questions. Their staff is always happy to help guide you towards the right purchase. Visit their website, bdcosmos.com, for more. BD Cosmos, with rewards and raffles taking care of customers in Canada.
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget, the CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. That was my top 10 most wanted X-Men Omnibus list. Let me know in the comments down below what your top 10, top 5, top 1 book is that you just want. Is it Uncanny Omnibus Volume 6? And let me know about the mapping, what you think of the mapping. Should it go bigger? Should it be fatter? I think some of these are huge. Some of them, maybe a little slimmer. But if I forgot anything, of course. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for smashing that like button. Thank you all so much for commenting. Just thank you all. That's it for me. Stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.